On today's Glory Days show, we're at the midway point in the baseball season, following the All-Star break. Time for us to talk about the season so far and what lies ahead for the Mets and the Yankees.
And what better way to do that than to bring on our baseball expert, Bobby Baseball. Bobby will join us to reflect on the first half of the season and to talk about what we can expect the rest of the way.
And in our Did You Hear About segment, we've got stories about a Buffalo Bills coach that punched a little kid for sitting on his beach chair while on vacation, and former NFL quarterback Donovan McNabb is caught drinking and driving again.
We'll even update you on the contest Major League Baseball was running to determine each team's franchise four and give you the results for the Mets and the Yankees. These stories and more as the best hour of your sports week is coming up on Glory Days right now.
InRavio.com.
So there's some good pictures.
Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, July 18th, 2015, and you are watching the Glory Days show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Discofani, and this is my good friend, Bruce Oler. Kyle Melnick and Eric McAuliffe are behind the glass today, and you are joining us on the InRavio TV network. We're broadcast live from Studio C in the great state of New York.
Yeah, how are you?
All right, I've been better.
Yeah, I see. We had a little nosebleed going on. And
Yes,
we're not
it
even
is.
in nosebleed country.
Yeah, in case I begin hemorrhaging live on the air, it's because I'm getting a nosebleed for whatever reason.
I should know the Heimlich maneuver or something.
Is there such a thing? What do? You just squeeze my face?
Yeah, I'll push your face all the way back, man. You know, tilt your head back.
No, did you ever have nosebleeds? Even as a kid?
Not like something like that. You know, most of the time it's because I either got punched in the nose or I picked my nose. You know.
Well, I could almost understand that.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. I never got nosebleeds before. You know, I was the first time I got the nosebleed. I was afterwards. I stopped it. I put ice on it. I did a whole bunch of things, and I stopped it. And for the next hour or so, I kept like not picking on it, but like pushing on it and stuff. And my wife says, "Well, what are you doing?" I says, "I'm trying to get the nosebleed again." She says, "Why would you want to do that?"
Yeah.
I said, "Because I want to know that I did something to cause it."
I see.
I said, "I didn't want to know that I've got some sort of internal problem that's causing."
Using a control and a variable there.
That's what I said.
Okay.
It's the kind of things we IT people do.
Yeah,
all
well,
the
that's
time.
right. You always got to rule out things, you know?
You got to rule everything out. Oh boy! So how are you?
I'm doing good. I tell you, I was in a little bit of withdrawal as far as baseball goes. With you know, and I thought the All-Star break used to be 3 days. Now it's a full 4, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody played on Thursday. You know, it wouldn't be that all teams came back on Thursday, but some would. Right. I mean, you figure the Cincinnati Reds could play on Thursday. You know,
I guess that's true.
You know,
but who would they play?
That's a good point. Well, maybe the Kansas City Royals, who had all those players that made the All-Star team. I don't know.
Did you watch any of it at all?
I did, and I'll tell you, a couple of things. First of all, you know, I know we covered the home run derby, and I really thought that was going to be a disaster with all those stupid rules they had up, but it wound up being a pretty entertaining thing. It really was. You know?
And I think it moved along a little better.
It did. I mean, I also read that, when we reported it, they were supposed to get 5 minutes, and I think they only gave them 4, and they were worried about, I guess, the rain or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
well, what happened was Major
League
League Baseball made a change to it at the last minute and decided to cut it to 4 minutes. A batter, and I think that was the.
It was good. It was, you know, it was good. I mean, I'm not sure that, you know, I know these shills. I mean, they work for they work for baseball or whatever. Talking about it's the greatest thing ever, and they were still talking about it the next day. It was good. It was a lot better than it's been the last few years, and it didn't go on forever either. You know?
And I think that was one of the big keys is that They're trying to make it an event, and they do make it an event.
Yep.
And
you have to wonder though if the fix was in because the hometown guy winds up winning.
And he wins on the last two
exactly
things.
Yep. And and we did miss. I think the home run leader did not participate, right?
What's his face?
Yeah, what's his name now?
I don't know. What are we, a sports show?
Bryce Harper. There you go.
Well, Bryce Harper said he wasn't participating because they wouldn't allow his father to pitch.
Right.
So he decided not to participate, and he says he's not participating in the next two.
Oh yeah.
No, he's going to wait. He didn't say, but he says he's going to wait until 2018 because that's when the Washington Nationals are the.
Because the fix will be in, just like it was with Todd Frazier. I say, okay, makes sense.
So I don't know. Who knows? What if, like in 2 years, they don't want him to be in the home run derby? What are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I don't know.
But it was interesting, and they never got to the tiebreaker. Remember that thing we talked about where there was going to be a swing off?
Oh yeah, was it a swing off or a swing off?
Yeah, they were going to do like a swing off if the thing. But if you'll recall, last year and the year before, in my pitch to save the All-Star game, I said that what baseball should do is that forget about extra innings, play 9 innings, and if it's over at the end of 9 innings,
go to a home run derby.
A home run derby. Everybody gets 3. One guy gets 3 swings, the next guy gets 3 swings, and if you're still tied, you get a different guy and a different guy. Till you get to,
a little bit like the shootout.
Exactly,
I
the shootout.
Gotcha.
If my middle name was Nostradamus, I could understand. But the AA All-Star game this year was tied 2-2 after 9 innings, and what do you think they did?
A home run derby?
A home run derby.
Really?
To win the game. And after the 3rd player, the guy hit a home run and thought they had won, and they reviewed it and found out it went foul.
Really?
Because it looked like it was wrapping around the pole, and they had to keep going. They went 22 players.
Wow. 11 on each team.
11 on each team. Until a thing was, the tie was broken and they won. And the place went bananas. It was great. But so, once again, they're listening to me, they're just not listening to me quick enough.
And I wonder how our ratings are going, man,
I don't know. Well, you know what I think it is? It's like, maybe what happens is it's like, bouncing off satellites. And
that's true, yeah.
It takes 3 years. Like the Pluto thing.
Right.
It takes 4.5 hours.
Wow.
To get the information. Because it's really quite fascinating, that Pluto thing. They talked about it, that if they're looking at something and they say, oh, I want to look over here, they can't just do that. Because it takes 4.5 hours for the message to get there and 4.5 hours for it to come back to confirm. So, you just think about that.
Yeah, that's pretty far away because it's traveling at the speed of something. I don't know if it's the speed of light. I mean, it's probably not traveling at the speed of light.
We should get an astronaut on here to talk about it.
We should. We talked about doing that at one time,
I would love to get an astronaut, but what we need is an astronaut that plays baseball.
Neil Armstrong, right? We need Neil Armstrong.
No, he's dead.
Oh, well, we can't have him then.
But we can still get Buzz Aldrin.
There we go.
The number 2 guy.
Yep.
I always wondered if they drew straws or they did 1, 2, 3, shoot to see who was the first guy out there.
Yeah, right. Or I don't care if you won. I'm still going first. Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
So I guess the other good thing about the baseball was I guess they did the Franchise 4 with everybody.
The Franchise 4. Let's talk about that for
all
a
right.
minute. I actually have written something about it.
I see that.
Before the first pitch of this year's All-Star game, Major League Baseball announced the results of their Final Four contest, okay?
Franchise 4.
Franchise 4. The idea was to create a listing for each team that the fans would place on their own personal Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
Okay, so from April 8th to May 8th of this year, fans of all 30 teams were encouraged to vote.
And I think that's the key.
It was
4
the
players.
fans that voted. It was only the fans.
Yeah.
All the names are recognizable. Mostly they're Hall of Famers and legends.
Yeah, there's a few exceptions there.
Well, these types of lists usually spark some type of controversy, and in some cases criticism. The Yankees franchise four were all no-brainers. Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, Mantle. Case closed. Sorry, no place for Derek Jeter, unless there was a top five.
Right.
Okay. But actually, you know, if you had to pick a franchise four for all of baseball, you might come up with at least three of those.
Yeah,
four
yeah.
guys.
The only guy I would throw in that same category is probably Lou Gehrig, probably, or something.
Yeah,
you know?
no, well, maybe I was thinking, what about like Ted Williams or
Yeah,
something?
Ted Williams too.
Right?
Good.
I mean, you know.
Yep.
What about Pete Rose? No.
I don't know about Pete Rose. That's a good question.
But what about our Mets?
Yeah.
Okay. This here is the franchise four. Mm-hmm. The Mets placed the obvious, Tom Seaver as their number one.
Well, he's the franchise.
That's right. Mike Piazza and Keith Hernandez were also named, even though their contributions were memorable, but they were kind of short-lived. Mm-hmm. But Dwight Gooden, the most popular and the best player on the planet for a few years, and Darryl Strawberry, arguably the Mets' most feared hitter, were left off in favor of David Wright. You know, granted, Wright already owns most, or will own, most of the Mets' hitting records, other than home runs. But because of his longevity, he becomes a franchise four.
Longevity?
Wouldn't that be Ed Kranepool?
Yeah.
Right?
You know, that's right. That's a good point.
I mean, but I guess you know, if you're doing it in 2015,
yeah,
okay, and the fans who are voting are from 2015, most of the ones that know how to use computers were from the 2000s.
Well, and that's what makes the results a little surprising from the Yankee side, because all those guys are old timers. You know what I mean? And you would think the people that were voted for them probably. A lot of them aren't around anymore.
But how could you know, you're voting on the four best, and I don't know how they did the voting. I don't know, like, if they asked you to vote for your top 10, and then they took the votes, or if they just said you only
vote
got
multiple
four.
times, like 35 times. Or
like you could just get 4 votes, because you have to start with Gehrig, Ruth, and DiMaggio. And then that only gives you one guy.
Right.
You got Yogi Berra, won 10 rings, 10 World Series.
That's an obvious snub, I think. You know,
you got, I don't know, you can't forget about Derek Jeter. It's just impossible. But I was surprised, because I thought in the same way that the younger generation, quote unquote, took David Wright, I would have thought that they would have found a way for Jeter.
Yeah, yeah.
But they didn't.
You know, and I was looking at some of the other teams' things, and the thing that jumped out at me as surprising was the Angels, and I think one of their franchise four is Mike Trout.
Mike Trout?
Now,
yeah.
I mean, he's a great player. I mean,
But
he lit
he's
off
been
the
there
All-Star game with a
3
home
years?
run, you know. But exactly right. Where's the body of work?
Well, I tell you what. Okay, let's look at a couple other things. All right?
Okay.
Some of the Mets were named as franchise four on other teams.
Okay.
Gary Carter.
Sure.
It was Montreal. He played from 85 to 89. Richie Ashburn of the Phillies. Now, I know some of these guys just had a cup of coffee with the Mets, but still.
Certainly Richie Ashburn, one of them.
Pedro Martinez
Yeah.
played for the Mets for 3 years. Brett Saberhagen on the Royals.
Yeah.
Ricky Henderson played 1 year
Yeah.
at the Mets. Carlos Delgado, Toronto. Roberto Alomar, Toronto. Willie Mays, remember, he could barely walk when he came to the Mets. Gary Sheffield 1 year. Duke Snyder was the next year. Randy Jones 81 to 82. And Nolan Ryan was named on 3 different teams. He was the franchise player on 3 different teams. That's kind of amazing.
And he deserves to.
Texas, Houston, and the Anaheim Angels. And you remember who the Mets got for him?
Sure, everybody remembers Jim Fregosi.
Jim Fregosi. And you know what?
He's not on any franchise.
He is on nobody's list.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do?
Well, it's a good question. You know, I also, they had the 4 living legends, you know, which it was Johnny Bench, right? Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and Sandy Koufax.
Sandy Koufax, yeah.
Okay, so there's a couple of snubs in there, too. I mean, you know.
Well, they said Tom Seaver just missed.
Yeah?
Tom Seaver was the 5th.
I see. Yeah. I mean, Johnny Bench, you know, great player.
Johnny Bench was a great player.
Yeah, well, he was. He was in part of the Big Red Machine, you know, but like I say, Tom Seaver could have been on that.
You only
talking
get
about
to
Yogi
pick
Berra.
4.
Yogi Berra doesn't get anything, man. You know.
Right. And how?
And I guess you had to. I guess you had to qualify as being a franchise for to make this living legend for, I guess?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or did they just take like all, well, I don't know. Who knows what the hell they did.
We have to launch an investigation here. Okay.
So I don't know. It's
but it's good that baseball is back.
It's right. You know what? I really missed it.
So did I.
I did, and then the Mets went out last night and had the typical stupid game.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk to Bobby Baseball in a few minutes, I guess, about the Mets and the Yankees. The Yankees were a surprising team. The Mets are right in it, but if they don't get some help, or if these guys don't start hitting, and I'm not sure what Sandy Alderson's waiting for or what he's going to do, you know. Maybe he's got a Ouija board out there, I don't know, you know, or something. Because, you know, the Mets, you know, if they did some hitting, they would be in great shape, you know.
And it's not even like they have to do a lot of hitting.
No, that's right. I mean,
they just have to be average. If they were the average National League team, the National League average runs per game is 3.4.
Okay.
The Mets are somewhere in the 2 range.
Yeah, I think they're second worst. I think the only team that's worse with them as far as, you know, batting average or runs, I think it's Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Who are having a terrible year.
So, I don't know. All righty. You know what? Why don't we get ready?
Okay.
For Bobby Baseball.
Sounds good. You can check your nose to make sure it's not bleeding.
I can check my nose.
Okay.
I don't know. You have that HD camera? We can look. All right, we're just getting started here. So after the break, we'll take a little bit of a deeper look. I actually got the mid-season marks from the New York Post this week.
Okay.
And we'll look at the Mets and the Yankees season so far, and we'll get Bobby Baseball. Hopefully he's not standing on third base when he calls.
Okay. Yeah, well, that would be a problem. That would be a problem.
Later on, we'll have a few stories in our Did You Hear About segment, so stay with us. You watch The Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco, only on the Radio TV network. We're coming right back.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com. For over 60 years, Hansen Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hansen Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansenCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered.
Hey, this is Chris Jake, and if InRavio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Welcome back to Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco here on the InRavio TV network. Although technically this is not the halfway point in a 162-game baseball season, traditionally the baseball world looks at the All-Star break as the halfway point. The Mets reached the All-Star break 5 games over 500 at 47-42 and are just 2 games behind the division-leading Nationals. In the wild card race, they are just 1 game behind the Chicago Cubs. The surprising Yankees are sitting on top of the American League East at 48-40, 3.5 games ahead of the Tampa Bay Rays. At this very moment, well, not quite at this very moment, our 13-year-old baseball maven is on second base, so so pinch hitting for him will be his father, Jim O'Brien. And then when Bobby either scores a run or gets thrown out, he'll be with us. Okay.
Jim, are you there?
Hello?
Hey,
Jim.
how are you? I want you to know this is a baseball first.
Okay, well, Bobby is on second base right now. He came off second base. He scored a run, but he's now playing second base.
Oh, I see. Okay, all
okay.
right. So it looks like we're going to miss him altogether.
He needs they'll get him out 1, 2, 3, so he needs about 6 minutes.
Okay.
So we'll talk to you.
You want me to do play-by-play?
No, we want to talk to you about baseball because you are a Met fan.
Yeah, okay, this is the deal, and I'm very serious about this. You don't trade any of the 5 pitchers. You build a team around those suckers.
That's true. I agree.
You don't trade them for a hitter because you're not gaining anything there. You got to keep those 5 pitchers together. The bullpen is fine. The hitters need a lot of work. And you don't trade Murphy for a hitter because you're giving up a hitter for a hitter. I don't understand the logic there.
My only problem with Murphy is what are we going to do with him if and when David Wright ever comes back?
Right. One of the problems is that Flores is like a natural second baseman, and the pressure could be taken off Flores as far as he doesn't have to concentrate on his fielding, so he can concentrate on his hitting, and I think that it could make him a better all-around player.
Now, last night, Flores failed to back up second base during a steal attempt.
Okay, so he's an idiot.
Right.
I'll give you that.
And then with runners on second and third, he struck out.
He's an idiot. I'm telling you. Okay, so that blows my argument altogether. No.
Get your son on the phone.
I can see the quandary there, but you just can't give away any of those pitchers. I mean, that's my bottom line. And maybe you have to go out and buy a player, or something. But you give away one of those big pitchers. You can go into a playoff series with those 5 big pitchers when Wheeler comes back next year, and it could almost be lights out. I just don't see.
So are you willing to?
Those 5.
Are you willing to write off this year and go for next year if we don't get a hitter? As a fan,
question. I wouldn't necessarily write it off, but I would not give up a pitcher.
And I guess the 5 that you're talking about is DeGrom, Harvey, Syndergaard, Wheeler, and Matz.
Right.
So I mean, to me, Neese is expendable. Right. Colon is expendable. Dylan G is expendable. Who's the guy they brought up to do a spot start? I think he's expendable.
Right.
Montero.
Once you get those 5 pitches in,
yep.
then you're okay. You can always pick up a 6th pitcher. You can always keep G around as that 6th pitcher.
Oh, I forgot about G. G is the 7th pitcher.
It was Smoltz that said on MLB Network, I think, that the Mets' 5 pitchers are better than the pitching staff that Atlanta had when they were in their prime.
Right. Well, you think about that Atlanta pitching fast.
Yeah.
They had. I mean, nobody.
Or maybe it's the potential they had.
Yeah. Nobody's ever had 5 guys. Everybody's had 3. 5 number 1 pitchers. These 5 guys, I mean, Syndergaard.
Well, you talk about that, though, but I mean, one of the surprises, I think, this year has been the Nationals haven't run away with the East. And they have this great pitching staff. They really do. I mean, they have 5 legitimate starters.
They're the team that supposedly has the 5 on paper.
Yeah.
The 5 best paid because of their past performances. You know, obviously with the pitchers that the Mets have, there's no track record yet, other than DeGrom. And
well,
even with Harvey, you're not sure because even with Harvey, you're not sure because he's missed a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he is coming back, and he's certainly not the dominant pitcher that he was. But with Harvey, he takes it too personally.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you don't know about any of them in reality. They could always, but we have this dream, and we're rolling the dice and saying, I would roll the dice and say, you build the team around these 5 pitchers,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go to church and say a novena. that everybody works out.
Well, let me ask you a question. What do you think about what the coaching staff has been? Terry Collins specifically.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we're ready for Wally.
You're not ready for Wally Ball yet?
What's that?
You're not ready for Wally Ball?
I kind of think I might be, because some of them are, well, one in particular is acting like a prima donna, Harvey, and I don't, maybe Wally can fix that. Maybe nobody can. Maybe it's just the nature of baseball today that they're all multi-million-dollar players, and the coaching staff they do good, but they're not as rich as the players, and so the players figure they can get away with a lot more.
Who do you think made the call to move?
Now first and second.
Oh, so he's not getting. So unless he gets into a double, unless he can turn a double play, this is going to be the Jim O'Brien show.
I tell you, I was glad to see they move Flores to second base, and but I wonder what took so long for that to happen. I mean, that probably was obvious right from the beginning of the season,
Well, that's why I'm wondering if Collins is making the decision.
Wait a minute, are we talking about the Mets or Bobby's team?
No, the Mets at this point. So I'm wondering if all these moves, Jim, what you were saying about Collins, I wonder sometimes if his hands are kind of tied. When you looked at the
double play.
Did he really get a double play?
Bobby just caught a line drive and stepped on second. Double play ended the inning.
Oh, so he should be coming off the field. So now, how?
Write any of that down.
You've got this. Where else are you getting live play-by-play from a travel team?
Here's the star of the day.
Let's talk to him.
Hello.
Hey, so we heard you just made a nice double play there, my friend.
Yeah, I did. That's pretty good.
How'd you get on second? What have you been doing so far today in the game?
I came up last day. I got a base hit. It was the blooper. It was all right, and then that was the first play in the field. We just sat through like an hour and a half rain delay. It's still raining pretty hard.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's raining. Oh, wow.
Yeah, pretty hard. It's thunder. I don't know if we're going to finish it.
Oh, all right. So you got a minute to talk about the Mets?
Yeah. I'm out for a while.
All right. So let's talk about your father was just filling in for you. So,
okay.
We were talking about that core 5 guys that we don't want to trade. Yep. Are you, as a young Met fan, willing to give up on this year and not get a bat?
I don't think we should give up quite yet because we're still in it. We're 1 game out of the wild card, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
We're 5 games above 500. I really don't think you should give up any of those 5 pitchers, though. Not Syndergaard, not Matz, not Wheeler, not Harvey, not DeGrom. Because they're the future. I heard something John Smoltz said a couple of days ago. I think it was Wednesday. He said the 5 starters that the Mets have are better than the Braves' Fab 4 when they had Maddox and Glavine and Smoltz.
No doubt, but do you think that, obviously, I don't know how much Mets history but the team that won in 1969 was not a good hitting team at all. But they were a clutch hitting team.
Yeah, and Cleon Jones almost won the batting
title. Right. And one of the things that Bruce and I were talking about before was that even if the Mets were an average hitting team, you know, the National League average, I think, is 3.4 something runs per game.
But they're not even that.
No,
They're not
I know.
even-
You know, so what do we do? All right, let's say we don't make a trade. What do we do?
If you don't look to trade, you have a couple prospects coming up, but then you're really looking at next year because you're not quite ready. You have Nimmo and the outfielder, his name isn't coming to me right now.
Conforto.
Yes. They could be ready next year, but not this year. So what you could do is, I don't know who would take them, but you could try to trade Cologne and maybe a couple of relievers since we have so many of them. You know, Blevin's going to be coming back soon. So,
you know, one of the things
that's
that
what you could do.
one of the things that they talked about on the game last night was that the starting pitching has been so solid that they don't need a seven-man bullpen right now.
I heard them talking about that, and that could be true. So if you can find a team to give maybe a couple relievers, or maybe you do give up one of your young guys, but not the core five, give up Montero to maybe a team like the Brewers who really aren't in it. They just want a guy who can eat innings like Cologne.
And who do you
maybe
want
get
back?
Carlos Gomez.
Carlos Gomez.
If you get Carlos Gomez, where do you put him?
Yeah, I don't like Carlos Gomez as a person. He's got a bunch of problems on the field, always starting conflict. But that's also true. You can't really put him anywhere.
Right. I mean, you either have to sit Kadire, which means you're going to take a lot of a money hit, which, of course, to us as the fans, we could care less about.
Exactly right.
Or, I don't know, there's something wrong with Juan Lagares. You know what I mean? I know he's got an arm problem or a shoulder problem, whatever it is. But, you know, he's not making the catches.
He cost us the game last night. I mean, it would have been a great catch that he made, but he makes that
There was
catch
a couple
last
that
year.
he missed. He
Right,
missed
and
one
it's
from
been-
Jason Hayward. He missed one from Peter Borges. Went over his head.
Right, it's been-
he didn't catch that ball.
Right, it's been 3 or 4 in a row of the plays that we normally. I guess maybe we're just used to it.
We're
but
spoiled. Yeah, it's
we're
like
spoiled.
Andrew Jones used to, patrol center
Maybe one
field
of
for
those
the
spoiled
Braves.
Lagares.
So
What were you thinking,
I don't know. Your father says don't trade Daniel Murphy. What do you think?
I don't think you should trade Daniel Murphy.
Where are you going to
Last
play
year,
him?
He's your best. He was your best hitter last year.
Doesn't matter. Where are you going to
This
play
year,
him? Where are you going to play him on the field?
I'd keep him at second, but they have Flores there now. I've never liked Flores. I still really don't. But Murphy's been battling injuries, so he's never really been to his full potential this year.
So do we trade
So-
Flores?
I don't know who would take him. Maybe you do if someone sees him as a prospect. Maybe
I don't think
maybe
there's
you get Ben
anybody,
Zobrist, but
any
that doesn't really
position
solve
player
anything.
that's
Untouchable.
exactly right. You know, those 5 pitches that he mentioned, I think they all are untouchable. You know,
If we were somehow, without trading the 5 guys, okay, and let's say we bring back either an outfielder or a third baseman, would you include Duda in a trade and let Murphy play first?
You know, I've been saying for a couple years that Duda, he has a lot of potential. And one year he's just going to explode and he's going to hit 30 home runs and he's going to bat 280. And I've been saying that for a while, but he's just not doing it. He could be burning out a little. I don't know.
So what do we? So you know what? In a way, I'm glad I'm not Sandy Alderson.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a couple minutes left. You want to talk about the Yankees for a minute?
One more thing I want to say about Syndergaard and
Okay.
starting 5. Yesterday, I was watching him pitch, and Yadier Molina came up, and he threw 3 pitches, and he just blew right by Yadier Molina, one of the best players in the game, one of the best catchers, if not the best, possibly a future Hall of Famer, and he just dominated him. He made him look bad. He threw a fastball right by him. That's the type of potential that each one of those pitchers have.
I mean,
That
right?
guy's like that
If
out.
you think about what cost him the game yesterday, a broken bat infield hit. The guy steals second. The ball gets into center field because Flores wasn't backing up properly. And then a ground ball to Duda.
Yeah.
The ground ball to Duda was the Duda. They didn't have the infield in. They were conceding the run.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I am on deck, so I'm going to have to go now.
All right,
Okay.
man.
Sorry.
Enjoy.
All right, thank you, guys. Thank you.
That's You know, it's live television.
I know, and I was wondering how we're going to wrap this thing up with our 2-minute warning that just came up. So it looks like we'll be able to do that.
But last night, and then Syndergaard made another, after that run scored, he made a bad pitch, and I can't think of the guy's name. The guy hits a home run.
Johnny Peralta.
But Neuenhuis just missed it. It actually went off his glove.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and that was the 2 runs that he gave up. So...
a hard luck loser.
A hard luck loser.
Talk about the Yankees, though, for a second. Yeah. I think they've overachieved, you know, and part of the reason why is because they've gotten a lot of mileage out of Tex and A-Rod. And A-Rod's been a model citizen this year. I mean, the pitching has been all right. I mean, really, I don't think anybody is expecting CC Sabathia to really make a comeback here.
No.
But the Yankees are sitting pretty good. I mean, you know, and they were one of the surprises this year. I mean, if I looked at the surprises in the first half, the Nationals didn't dominate. The Astros and the Cubs, they got good young teams. San Diego made all those trades, and now they're in the toilet.
Yeah. Do you know the Houston Astros, if before the season started you placed a bet, it was 100 to 1.
Wow.
100 to 1. That's unbelievable.
And the AL East wound up being better than everybody thought, you know? Yeah. So those were the big surprises. Well, I went back and watched our baseball extravaganza, you know, and you know, that was all things. The Nationals are going to dominate. The Mets might not.
What about San Diego?
Yeah.
San Diego, all those free agents, now they're talking about trading Justin Upton.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. It should be an exciting second half, and of course we'll cover it throughout the year.
And you know what? I'm just glad that there's going to be a second half for us, for Met fans.
Yeah.
You know.
Although, I'll tell you what, Disco.
Met fans.
We got 10 games against
the top,
all first-place teams. We didn't start out too good. We're losing our first game here, so hopefully, 10 days from now, we'll still be saying the Mets are in it.
Yeah. You know what? Let's take another break.
Okay.
All right. When we get back, we'll bring you a few stories in our Did You Hear About segment. Stay with us. You watch the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco only on the Radio TV network. We're coming right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Hey, this is Chris Les Jake, and if InRavio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Welcome back to the Glory Days Show with Bruce Disco here on the Radio TV network. Now, if you're a sports fan, you know you could always turn to ESPN or SNY to get the latest scores and highlights. One thing we pride ourselves here in Glory Days is providing you with the information that you may have not heard anywhere else. We call this segment, Did You Hear About?
Yeah, I like that sweet.
Just love it. All right. If you've ever been on vacation, you know the importance of securing a couple of beach chairs, okay? Unless you get down there early and you grab a couple of empty chairs and place markers on them like towels or sweatshirts, you'll be spending the rest of the day picking sand out of your butt cheeks, okay? But what if you did get out of bed early to secure those chairs, only to find out that when you were ready to use them, some kids had taken them over? Well, of course, you'd just punch them in the face and threaten to kill their entire family. Right? And that is exactly what Buffalo Bills offensive line coach Aaron Kromer, who was arrested early last Sunday morning in Florida, allegedly did. Punched the boy in the face and threatened to kill his family. According to a statement released by the Walton County Sheriff's Office, that's in Florida, Kromer and his son Zachary allegedly confronted 3 boys who had been fishing on the beach over the unauthorized use of their beach chairs. Kromer, 48, has been accused of pushing one of the boys to the ground and punching him in the face after throwing his fishing pole in the water. Kromer allegedly ordered that the chairs be returned to where they were found and told the boy that he would kill his family and reported him to the police, according to his statement. His defense? Well, an unnamed source was quoted in a Florida newspaper as saying it was dark out, he couldn't see the people. The kids were belligerent and threatened him. Bottom line, they stole his property, and he couldn't identify them because it was dark out, and they threatened him. Even with that rock-solid defense, Aaron Kromer was booked into the Warren County Jail and later released on bond. He was immediately placed on indefinite paid administrative leave by the Buffalo Bills and is now subject to discipline from the NFL. You know that's not going to go over well. Kromer, who just joined the Bills this January after a stint with the Chicago Bears, is scheduled to appear in court on August 12th. Have you ever punched a kid and threatened him to kill his entire family because they took a beach chair?
I have not.
I must say, though, don't take my beach chair. Because there's not many of them.
And dark, so I guess it was at night?
It must have been early in the morning. He was booked at 3 a.m.
Oh, was he? Yeah, yeah. So it wasn't like...
it wasn't like they were getting ready. You know, you drag all that stuff out to the beach and you get there and your chairs aren't there.
Couple of things, I don't understand why the NFL hasn't suspended him. I mean, with all the other stupid things that have happened, they were swift with their justice, with suspending people, and now they're taking their sweet time. It winds up being the Bills that have put him on a paid administrative leave, okay? And the second thing is, this is just part and parcel to the circus that is Rex Ryan.
Yes.
Did
you see him jumping out of the airplane yesterday?
I did.
And so we got another knucklehead football player in the news.
Yeah, all right. So another tough day for former Eagle and Viking quarterback Donovan McNabb. For the second time in the last 2 years, McNabb was arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol. McNabb, now a commentator for Fox Sports, has been suspended indefinitely. After rear-ending the car in front of him that was stopped at a red light, Donovan was seen on police footage claiming he is not drunk, but had been taking cough medicine. When asked what type of medicine he was taking, he said, chlorophyll. I guess he was trying to perform photosynthesis. I don't know. McNabb, who probably meant he was taking Chloraseptic, admitted he was driving home from a sports bar and failed a roadside eye test. Police have since released information that his blood alcohol level was 0.17, more than double the legal limit for photosynthesis. Fox Sports said in a statement to SportsIllustrated.com on Sunday that it is important that Donovan use this time the best he can to resolve his personal situation. The 38-year-old McNair previously served a day in jail in April of 2014 after pleading guilty to another DUI case resulting from a December 15, 2013. He was arrested at the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community just east of Phoenix. This was a second arrest, but not only involved DUI, but also had a Native American connection. Turns out the car he rented this time belonged to the wife of a Gila River tribal police officer. He's in a heap bigger trouble. Who writes this stuff?
I don't know. It must be somebody who's drunk. The thing is, he's a professional football player. He's at a sports bar, and now they're saying, oh, he was on chlorophyll.
Yeah. I can remember, unfortunately, I had a bad situation where I was arrested in San Diego back in the 80s at the Rolling Stones concert, and I had to go see a lawyer, because I had to get out of town and things like that. So I needed a legal representation, and I remember talking to the attorney, and he had experience. He told me that basically that he was representing, and I forgot the guy's name now. I think it was maybe Fred Dean, who was playing for the Chargers at the time, and he told me that this guy admitted to having 10 Kahlua and milks before he got 10 of them, man,
Oh, man. I'm taking the safe driver online course because you get 10% reduction in your thing.
Okay.
And it's going through it, and they just last night they had a chart of like how many drinks, and they say it doesn't matter if you take a shower or you drink coffee or whatever. It takes an hour
for
to
every
get
drink.
one drink out of your system.
Right. And I guess to get you to point 8 is what? It's less than 3 drinks, I guess, right?
I guess. I don't know. No, they said, yeah, and it's fairly funny. I guess it's not funny, but they give you 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, everything that's happening to you, and you've had all that stuff happen to you. You have.
Girls start looking better. That's about 0.1, I think. 0.01.
All right, let's do. I got time for one more story here, right? Okay. So, sitting in field level box seats at a major league ballpark requires that you pay attention. Anybody who's ever sat down there knows that. It comes with the territory. You want to socialize, you go sit in the loge or the mezzanine. But when you sit in the field level boxes, you have to be aware of what's going on around you. Okay? There are signs all around, and some fans even consider it a badge of honor if they do get hit by a ball. From Major League Baseball to sandlots around your neighborhood, everybody knows to stand behind the backstop. In most ballparks, netting is provided that stretches around home plate area to protect spectators from balls that are fouled off directly behind the batters. Okay? But everyone also knows that if you've ever sat in the field line, you know how in the field level, you know how dangerous foul line drives can be. As a matter of fact, a woman was hit by a foul ball at Fenway Park during Friday night's Red Sox-Yankee game. And she's recovering at home after getting 36 stitches in her forehead. Just a couple of weeks ago, a woman got hit by a bat.
Yeah, that's right. That was in Boston also, yep.
So now word comes out of Oakland that a lawsuit is being filed on behalf of an A's fan and other season ticket holders that didn't ask for money, but rather protection. They want Commissioner Rob Manfred to extend the foul ball screens all the way down the first and the third base lines, all the way to the foul poles.
That ain't going to happen.
This is what your baseball is going to look like if you sit down at the field level.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The suit was filed on behalf of Gail Payne, who has tickets down the first base line in one of the unprotected sections. She feels at risk for herself, her husband, and their daughter because they are not protected by netting. The lawsuit claims that Payne is constantly ducking and weaving to avoid getting hit by foul balls or shattered bat. Do you think that's a little bit of an exaggeration?
Of course it is.
Have you ever had to duck and weave?
No.
At a foul, constantly? Goalies don't duck and weave that much.
Bob and weave is what they do, by the way.
Okay. her lawyer said this: every type of fan is constantly at risk of serious injury or death. Serious injury or death. If that foul ball is hit hard enough, reaction time is basically zero, and life-threatening injury is certain. This is a needless risk. Extending the nets will, as a fact, save lives. Okay, just a couple of things. Okay, I know it's a little bit of an exaggeration, all right, but how many people are being killed at ball games?
That's a good question. I can't say I've heard of anybody recently. You know, although, you know, you get the occasional fan that reaches over the railing and falls, you know, or somebody is drunk and they decide they're going to go up the elevator the wrong way or something, you know.
Wouldn't it just be easier to pony up the extra money and move closer to home plate where there's protection? You know, if you have a little kid, I understand. I mean, what are they supposed to do? Enclose the playing field in a gigantic steel cage?
You could also wear catcher's equipment to the game, I guess, you know. But at least bring a glove if you're sitting down there, man.
You're supposed to bring a glove. You know? That's exactly right. You bring a glove to a ball game. You don't legislate and put netting down the entire field. That's just so ridiculous. Now what's going to happen? When it goes over the netting...
You're going to have to raise it, you know. Right. Stay home and watch it on TV, okay?
I can't take people anymore, and I can't take lawyers anymore.
People are the worst.
People are the worst.
Lawyers are the worst, though, I can tell you that, man. I've never been a lawyer fan.
Right. What's the joke? What do you call 10,000 lawyers at the bottom of the sea?
A good start.
There you go.
I guess we won't have any law firms advertising on in Glory Days anytime soon. You know?
We're sorry to our sponsors out there, but, you know, what are you going to say?
It's crazy. I mean, we've gotten, it's a litigious society that we live in, and everybody's looking to sue anybody any chance they get, you know?
That is true.
The interesting thing is that they said they're not suing for money. They're suing for protection. I mean, I guess that's a grandstand.
But there's already protection. And protection is sit behind home plate if you don't want to sit out in the thing.
Or sit upstairs.
Or sit upstairs.
Yeah.
And believe me, you can still get hit by a foul ball.
You can.
Your chances are probably better that you'll be hit by a guy from the opposing team. You know, the fan of the opposing team.
Yep. Well,
it exasperates me.
We're just about out of time here at the Glory Days show.
It's going to cause me to get nosebleed.
Yeah, if you sit in the nosebleed section. Maybe that's where you're sitting today.
That's where I should be sitting.
Well, we're almost out of time here on the Glory Days show. We're going to take a break and wrap up for the weekend. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Days show with Bruce and Disco, only on the Radio TV network. Coming right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit hansoncarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco here on the InRavio TV network. So, what did we learn today?
Well, I learned that your middle name should be Nostradamus because you kind of saw into the future, and you said the future of a All-Star game, if it's a tie, should be a home run derby, face-off, so to speak.
There you go. I've learned that Donovan McNabb should probably have played a few games with the Redskins. Maybe he wouldn't be in as much trouble as he is all the time. Or maybe he is part Indian.
Yeah, who knows?
Because, he does have a problem. But
and we've also learned on the show that neither of us are big fans of attorneys.
No. And I just to get back to that just for a second, we were talking before about the National Hockey League, how there was an unfortunate incident that a fan at a minor league hockey game got hit in the head with a puck and died.
Died, yeah.
Okay. And they decided immediately to institute netting around the back of the rinks. Now, I have to say, I don't know if a hockey puck is more dangerous than a line drive baseball, because they're both coming at you pretty fast, okay? But that, again, has affected the viewing of the game for people down in that lower area, There's a reason why they have glass and not chain link fence. It's so that not only is it protecting the fans, but the fans can still see. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Again, I think it's an overreaction to a single incident. People have been getting hit with line drives forever in baseball games. You had to pay attention. And you know what? Anybody who's ever been hit with a line drive at a baseball game, they didn't have a glove with them.
Yeah. Just flashing back, I remember my grandmother telling me once that basically she was at a ball game and she said the person next to him, sitting next to her, and these are those balls don't look as hard as they are now.
Yeah.
And she said that basically the guy next to her, sitting next to her, died.
Died?
And she said, I said to my father, why is that man sleeping? And I don't know if that's true or not. My grandmother's not around anymore to really...
Well, back then they died reading the newspaper.
Yeah, I guess.
There were a lot of things they couldn't prevent.
Well, we talked off the air about, they used to have, these used to be the metal dashboards in cars and things like that. We used to drive without seat belts. It was okay to drink and drive. Nobody cared,
Nobody cared. It's a different world.
It is.
Today,
yep.
I guess. I don't know. It's just it's a tough thing. Alrighty, thanks to our producers, Kyle Melnick and Aaron McAuliffe. Is that how you pronounce it? McAuliffe? That's all right, we'll take care of it. For all their hard work making us look so good out here today. And thanks to Bobby O'Brien from Lindenhurst for helping us out today while he was in the middle of the game.
Yeah, and Jim O'Brien too.
And Jim O'Brien, his dad, pinch hitting for the son.
Here you go.
Can we get away with that?
We can.
Thanks again, Chuck and Bonnie, for putting up with this nonsense week after week. And, of course, thanks to you, our loyal viewers. And don't forget, check out the Glory Days On Demand page on www.inravio.com to watch any of our past shows or any of the other great shows on the InRavio TV network. So, got any plans?
Are you going to Belmont tomorrow or not?
I might.
Yeah.
If I do...
Then I may have some plans. Okay.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe, and we will see you next time. That means bye. Hey, let's make it like we're talking.
in Ravio.com.